Tom Selleck has always existed in the minds of audiences as a fortress of integrity and quiet dignity. Yet behind the legendary moustache and the seemingly unbreakable exterior, this 81-year-old man is facing fears that are deeply real and painfully human. In 2024, a sudden wave of panic spread across social media when false rumors about Tom Selleck's death began circulating everywhere. Although it was nothing more than a cruel internet hoax, it exposed a haunting reality about his current situation. After 14 long years portraying Commissioner Frank Reagan in Blue Bloods, this symbol of American stability is now confronting a painful anxiety. The end of the series could also mean the end of his peaceful life on the Hidden Valley Ranch. At 81 years old, Tom Selleck admitted that he fears he may no longer have the financial means to maintain his 63-acre ranch, the place he spent his entire life nurturing and protecting like a private fortress. The image of a screen hero who always appeared to rescue others now reveals exhaustion and fear in the face of time's destruction and economic pressure. Behind the dazzling stage lights stands an elderly man desperately trying to hold on to the things most familiar to him as the sunset of his career slowly descends. To understand why a legendary man like Tom Selleck carries such anxiety about loss at the age of 81, we must travel back to where his core values were first formed. Born in 1945 in the bustling heart of Detroit, Tom grew up in a family that considered integrity its greatest treasure. His father, a strict yet loving man, planted within him the seeds of discipline, dedication, and responsibility. Traditional values that would later shape Tom Selleck into a man who never appeared broken on screen. Yet few people know that the first passion of this 6'4" giant was not the spotlight, but the hardwood floor of fierce basketball games. Gifted with the instincts of a natural athlete, Tom fought hard to earn a basketball scholarship to the University of Southern California, USC. He once dreamed of roaring crowds in professional arenas and historic slam dunks. But life often turned cruelly without warning. After scoring only 4 points across 7 games, his basketball dream quietly came to an end. That early failure seemed capable of destroying the young man, but at his darkest moment, a drama coach saw something that even Tom himself had failed to recognize. Beneath the powerful physique of an athlete was a sensitive soul and a face made for cinema. The suggestion to try acting was not merely an escape route, but the beginning of a journey toward discovering his true identity. Tom Selleck carried the disappointment of a failed athlete into every role, transforming his initial awkwardness into the calm, dignified presence the world would later admire. Before the world came to know the iconic moustache, Tom Selleck endured an agonizing decade of obscurity and rejection. Throughout the 1970s, he survived through tiny supporting roles and brief commercial appearances. There were times when perseverance itself seemed hopeless, as he appeared in 6 television pilots that all failed to move forward into full production. For a man with Tom's deep sense of pride, standing still in his 30s was a brutal test of character. Yet during those dark years, his service in the California Army National Guard from 1967 to 1973 became the anchor that kept his soul from drifting away. Military discipline sank deep into his bones, teaching him how to stand tall even in failure and remain calm through chaos. He never saw small acting roles as humiliations, but rather as training exercises to sharpen his professionalism. Tom Selleck during this period was a deeply moving image of patience. He quietly observed, quietly learned, and never allowed himself to lose the bearing of a soldier. Punctual, responsible, and fully committed to every task, no matter how small. It was this harsh training in darkness and hardship that built the inner strength he would later need, so that when destiny finally knocked on his door, he could accept it not merely as a star, but as a man ready to carry the responsibility of his own success. In 1980, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity arrived for Tom Selleck. Steven Spielberg and George Lucas, 2 giants of Hollywood, saw in him the spirit of a legendary adventurer and selected him for the role of Indiana Jones in Raiders of the Lost Ark. It was a golden ticket into the highest ranks of global superstardom. But a cruel obstacle stood in the way. Tom had already signed a contract to star in the television series Magnum P.I., and the producers refused to release him. Faced with the choice between a glorious film career and loyalty to a contract he had already signed, Tom Selleck made a decision that stunned Hollywood. Instead of trying to escape through legal loopholes or lawsuits, he chose to honor his word. To Tom, a man's honor mattered more than any role. He did not want to disappoint his parents, nor betray those who had believed in him from the very beginning. He accepted watching Harrison Ford step into cinematic history with the whip and fedora, while he remained in Hawaii to fulfill his commitment. And that integrity was ultimately rewarded. The role of Thomas Magnum not only transformed him into a global icon of the 1980s, with the red Ferrari and rugged charm, but also reinforced something even more important about Tom Selleck. He was a star with genuine character. Audiences did not simply love the clever and charismatic Magnum, they also sensed the steadiness and reliability of Tom himself, a man who chose honor over personal glory. As Magnum PI reached the height of its success, the name Tom Selleck became a magnet for worldwide media attention. Yet few realized that behind the bright smile on screen stood a man slowly being drained. Grueling filming schedules lasting 90 hours a week, combined with the constant harassment of paparazzi, exhausted him both physically and emotionally. Tom realized that although he seemed to possess the entire world, he no longer had even a single moment of peace for himself or the people he loved. And then he made a move that shocked Hollywood at the time. While the show was still dominating the television ratings, Tom Selleck decided to walk away. He chose to leave behind the brightest spotlight of his career in order to prioritize personal stability and family life. For Tom, success was not about appearing on every magazine cover, but about growing old beside the people he loved in peace and quiet. That same determination was reflected in his outright rejection of the lead role in Baywatch, the series that would later become a global sensation. Tom did not want his career to revolve solely around the image of a polished celebrity. He longed for a life with greater depth, rather than endlessly chasing the shallow rewards of fame. He chose to step back, searching for a refuge where he could take off the costume of a superstar and return to being an ordinary man. Stepping away from television, Tom Selleck proved that his talent was not confined to Thomas Magnum's iconic mustache. In 1987, he lit up the box office with Three Men and a Baby, the highest-grossing film of the year, proving his versatility in both comedy and emotionally layered performances. Yet the soul of a classic old-school man like Tom found a strange harmony within the Western genre. In roles as cowboys and lonely lawmen wandering through rugged frontiers like in Crossfire Trail or Monty Walsh, Tom Selleck hardly needed to act at all. His calm demeanor, upright gaze, and sturdy presence seemed born for endless prairies and dusty landscapes. He loved the silence and the clear moral codes of the Western world, where a handshake meant more than any contract and honor was the highest currency of all. These Western films were not just jobs to him. They were places where Tom could truly live out the values his father had taught him since childhood. As age began leaving its marks upon his face, Tom Selleck never tried to hide them through cosmetic tricks. Instead, he transformed aging itself into a powerful artistic tool. Through the Jesse Stone series, audiences witnessed a completely different side of Tom, an aging police chief confronting loneliness and the disappointments of life. He not only starred in the series, but also helped shape the scripts, pouring into the character his reflections on mortality and the pain of growing older. And then came Frank Reagan in Blue Bloods, the role that once again turned him into America's father. Across 14 seasons, Frank Reagan embodied stability, family, and unwavering moral principles. Audiences saw a slower Tom Selleck, with more wrinkles etched across his face, yet his eyes still carried warmth and determination. He had grown old alongside his viewers, and it was precisely this honesty toward time that made him more trustworthy than ever. Frank Reagan was not merely a character. It was the vessel through which Tom expressed his concerns about the modern world and his deep respect for enduring family values. Far away from Hollywood's lavish parties, Tom Selleck's true world exists within the 63 acres of Hidden Valley Ranch, a peaceful estate once owned by legendary singer Dean Martin. This was not merely an expensive property. It was his soul, the place where Tom could completely shed the burdens of superstardom and return to being a man connected to the land. Instead of elegant suits, he was often seen wearing work clothes, repairing broken fences with his own hands, tending lush avocado trees, or quietly driving a utility cart across the ranch in total silence. Behind the gates of Hidden Valley stood a lasting happiness built over nearly 40 years with his wife, Jilly Mack. After the collapse of his first marriage, Tom found in Jilly a profound understanding, someone who chose a quiet, hidden life alongside him in order to protect the privacy of their small family. He cherished every peaceful moment, where the only sound was the wind rustling through the avocado trees. Yet even this pastoral life was not entirely without turbulence. In 2015, his image as an upright hero was shaken by a legal dispute over water usage during California's historic drought. Though controversial, it also revealed just how fiercely, even obsessively, Tom was willing to fight to preserve the life of his ranch. To him, Hidden Valley was not a trophy property to show off, but the final fortress where he protected his memories and family values. Tom Selleck is a strange intersection between a dazzling modern Hollywood star and a gentleman seemingly pulled from the pages of an earlier century. Within him exists a pure and passionate love for sports, from being a loyal minority owner of his hometown baseball team, the Detroit Tigers, to spending countless hours on volleyball courts. For Tom, sports were not merely physical exercise, but a way to keep his spirit connected to community values and the discipline of a true athlete. Yet behind that calm exterior stands a relentless guardian whenever his family is threatened. Unlike many celebrities who choose silence during media storms, Tom Selleck has never hesitated to confront toxic tabloids head-on. He once sued publications that spread false rumors about his private life and sexuality, not to seek financial compensation, but to establish a clear red line. No one had the right to stain the honor of his wife and children. It was the fury of an honorable man, one who viewed his home as a sacred sanctuary that no outside force should ever violate. On deeply divisive social issues, Tom Selleck has maintained an independent and remarkably dignified presence. Though a longtime supporter of gun ownership with firmly traditional views, he has never used his fame to bully or provoke others. Instead, he has consistently chosen restraint in dialogue, respect in listening, and civility in disagreement. In Tom, people see the image of a gentleman slowly disappearing from the modern world, a man capable of holding firmly to his beliefs while still embracing differences, using integrity as his shield and compassion as the compass for all his actions. At 81 years old, when Tom Selleck looks in the mirror, he no longer sees a superstar, but a man deeply anxious about the future of the final fortress he still possesses. His confession that he hopes to continue working simply to hold on to his ranch left millions of fans heartbroken. After decades of dedication, after creating symbols of strength and reliability, America's hero is still fighting every single day to protect the small world he loves. The legacy Tom Selleck leaves behind is not merely a collection of box office hits or prestigious awards. It is the embodiment of an older generation's virtues slowly fading away. Ruthless discipline, refined restraint, and a perseverance that never bends. He represents a time when honor was gold and family was sacred. As the lights of Blue Bloods slowly fade away, we will see Tom Selleck quietly stepping back from the spotlight. Behind the wrinkles and the slowing pace of age stands a man who has lived a complete life without regret. His farewell may not be loud, but it will echo forever in the hearts of those who once saw him as a symbol of trust. A true hero is not someone who never feels fear, but someone who continues walking forward to protect what he loves, even when his legs have begun to grow tired.